Namaskar,
Namaskar.
National News Broadcaster DD India. So how do you feel, and congratulations to you too.
Thank you.
The Limca record lady is here.
Thank you. I felt very honored and privileged to lead for Prime Minister Modi ji. He's amazing. It was wonderful to see such a powerful world leader sitting in the grass practicing yoga and pranayama and meditation with so much sincerity. To me, you can tell he practices every day. He came on the stage and asked our children practitioners, do you practice every day? It's good for you to practice every day. And it was really overwhelming to see 135 countries represented in one field, in one yoga class, breathing in unity together.
How do you see India's role, especially under the leadership of our current Prime Minister, actually making yoga or turning yoga, transforming yoga into such a global brand? I mean, look at the way today yoga united us all.
Right. Well, I would say it's already been happening, and hats off to Prime Minister Modi ji for making yoga, breathing, and meditation accessible to the whole world. I learned it in 1999 with Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. I was overwhelmed by his presence and that he's the real deal, I call him, a real teacher who walks the talk. And as soon as I learned it, I was a ballerina, and it just erased all my stage fright. I used to be overwhelmed by going on stage, but when I learned Sudarshan Kriya, it took all of that away. And I vowed I'm going to learn to teach this to everyone in the USA.
Okay.
So we took it into schools back in 2004. So to me, it's already a global phenomenon. It's being yoga, meditation, breathing is being woven into schools. In the US, we have it in 108 universities.
Yes.
And in businesses, people are taking breathing breaks.
I'm compelled to ask you, now that the history is already created, Limca Book of World Record is already created, the way this entire event was curated, I mean, this is world beating, right? You have for the first time a Prime Minister of one of the UN nations leading the world, and the way he's being viewed not only as India's Prime Minister but global South leader. So your thoughts on it?
I hope that Prime Minister Modi ji becomes an inspiration to all other world leaders, because in my humble opinion, if every world leader and societal leader were practicing yoga and breathing and meditation, their mind would be so calm, their heart would be in the right place, and they would make decisions for the benefit of society. So I hope leaders will take up these practices, because it makes life easier, more joyful, and it makes us serve others better.
Okay. The whole curation of this whole event and the kind of yoga practice hours that must have gone into it, conceptualizing the whole event, a bit about that, an insight.
Oh, sure. I actually only learned last week that I was going to be leading this. Okay. So I rushed to New York, and we practiced daily with the children. They're as young as age 8. They do practice breathing techniques already, so they're very calm. We practiced every day in as many places as we could, and we just rehearsed over and over and over. And the kids were a little nervous knowing the Prime Minister would be in front of them, but they were so happy, and they felt accomplished, and they felt like they were leading the world.
Leading the world, and your instructions, the way, I mean, you conducted the entire event, and you had the Prime Minister of India, you had more than 2,000 participants, including mission representatives, delegates, Indo-American Indians, Americans, influencers, everybody.
Yes. I was very inspired. My eye kept going to the Prime Minister, who was in the center of the field. He was further away, but he has such a presence. He practices very 100%. And I have to say, I learned to remain calm and lead all that with clarity from Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. He's my role model and my teacher, and that's how I learned to lead this. And it was really inspiring working with the Prime Minister's office. And I really hope that we can achieve this one world family, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I believe in it. The Art of Living believes in it. We were honored to be invited to be part of this, and we'd like to join hands and invite the whole world to celebrate that we are one world family.
So this was yoga, the India way, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the way you're pronouncing it absolutely aptly right. The message that has gone to the world today. I'm just going to ask you this one last question. After the event, Prime Minister, he walked up, and Honorable Prime Minister interacted with the children. They were young, a mixed group, but very young also. You talked to him, he talked to you, there was this interaction, the body language was very warm, overwhelming. So what happened backstage?
Oh, well, he actually invited the children to India, and he said, would you like to come? They were so excited they wanted to come to India. He said, I will host you. And I told them I'll take them. My first time to India, I came for the World Culture Festival in 2006, and I brought a group of youth, and I think their lives were changed by coming to India because it's such a spiritual, beautiful place. I'd like to also invite the world to the World Culture Festival in the USA for the first time. We'll be having it with Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. I hope Prime Minister will come, and that'll be in Washington, D.C. in September.
Okay. Since you spoke about Washington, D.C., one final question. Now the focus shifts to Washington, D.C. But overall, as an American citizen, how do you see the bonhomie, the warming of ties between your president and my Prime Minister? The whole relationship.
I think that they are two men who have a lot of integrity and a lot of power, but both of them, in my opinion, feel very service-minded. And I think that this is a very powerful partnership to bring more peace to the world, and hopefully to bring more meditation and yoga to the world, but to make the world feel responsible for everyone as a family. And not that we are divided countries, but we are countries like brothers and sisters, and we're bringing peace to the planet together.
Do you see a shift now, in the last 9 years, the way this whole Indian-American closing together, Pentagon says they're looking at setting new benchmarks in bilateral ties. I'm not going to get the politics of it or diplomacy of it, but whole relationship, conversions between the two cultures, Americans and Indians.
Yes, I feel like Americans have a lot to learn from India, and I'm sure India learns from America. We have different talents and skills, just like people, and I do feel we're coming closer and closer together, and there's a very friendly tie between us, and may it continue to be even closer.
Thank you very much, Ms. Richmond, for talking to us. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
So nice.
Yes. So, Amrit, namaste.
Namaste.
So, Amrit, I think you heard it all, and we have the lady, yoga scholar, yoga guru here with us, and that's the big story from here, the India all the way.
Yeah, Shakil, can I ask you to ask the yoga instructor, how do the Americans view yoga? Do they look at it as breathing techniques, stretching exercises? The general Americans, forget about the yoga gurus. How is yoga perceived outside India?
Well, I'm going to take this one to her, but before that, I mean, we've been reporting here for the last 3-4 days, and yoga wasn't new to America, I think, but then the way this has picked up as a very healthy lifestyle in the last few years, particularly under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, I think that shift is pretty much visible. You do have yoga centers here, numerous of them, and I think we filed some reports also, but there are many, and you don't only see Indo-Americans or Indians there practicing. I mean, we do get to see the yoga scholars who are American citizens, American nationals. In fact, if you remember, last night we had Mr. Tom Hopkins with us. He was just in the row ahead of the Prime Minister. Topkins, I beg your pardon. Yoga and Ayurveda scholar performing the asanas and the whole, this India's soft culture, especially Ayurveda, yoga, Vedanta. It seems that it is really cutting ice with America now. Is it? Why do you think that is happening?
I think people are starting to realize that we need to go to a more natural way of life and a natural way of healing for society. Why is anxiety and depression higher than ever on the planet? Because we need to come back to ourselves. And because the beautiful culture from India, which is really global, I feel, the Vedic wisdom, yoga, breathing, meditation, Ayurveda, I feel it's a wisdom that belongs to the world, and I think Prime Minister Modi ji also believes that, and we need to return to a more natural way of being in the midst of all this social media and cell phones connected to our ears. We need to come back to ourselves and internalize who we really are. And these technologies, I would call them, internal technologies.
So technological detoxification is the need of the hour, and that's where yoga comes in.
I think so, and also if you look at the loneliness on the planet, it's very high. And a true practice of yoga, breathing, and meditation, it makes you feel connected to others and part of others, and makes you feel happy from within, and you don't need something external to be happy. And to me, that is also what is the art of living.
Yes, Amrit, I'm sure you heard it.
Absolutely, and that resonates with the message, Sakal, that the UN Secretary General today, through that video message, gave, that yoga not only unites the body and the mind, but also he believes that it could unite millions of people around the globe and promote a more harmonious way of life, or create a world which is harmonious and free of conflict. We hope that sentiment increases as yoga gains popularity through what the Prime Minister did today on the lawns of the UN headquarters, but like Ms. Richmond that you have with you right now, and spread that message. Thank you both, Sakal and Ms. Richmond, for joining us and giving us that update from the UN headquarters. And to commemorate the International Yoga Day of the International Day of Yoga 20